to the Pulse, everybody. My name is Desirée Perez, and I am your host, as always. With us today, Miss Daria at Hoboken Eats is joining us. She is back. You just had a baby.
I did. I'm very excited to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I'm happy to be out for the evening and get to try all this amazing food and be here with you.
I know. It is my first time doing this with you, so
yes,
I'm really excited for you to tell me everything that you do and everything you like to eat.
Yes, and we're at one of my favorite places.
Yeah.
We're here at Napoli's at the Uptown location. They have two in town. This place is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Was pretty close with the owner, Frank, who tragically did pass away, but his wife is living on his legacy and has kept all of the amazing traditions and cuisines alive, as you can see by all of the amazing things we have in front of us. But I think maybe we should dive into some of the dishes.
What do you want to start with today?
Let's start. I'm just like, I'm enthralled by this pizza.
So
I can't get enough. And they have so many good pizzas here. I don't know if you had any, but they have everything from like your classic pizza to these crazy concoctions that we have in front of us.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to start with the pesto or do you want to start with the chicken one?
Let's go the vodka pesto first.
Okay.
Let's give that a go.
I'll turn this around for you. Okay, grab a piece.
And look at how aesthetically pleasing this looks too.
I know, and it looks so beautiful as well. I mean,
know.
when you guys see it on the camera, it's gonna look absolutely stunning.
People have been walking by, and I hear some oohs and ahs behind us.
I have never seen pesto on pizza, but what kind of pizza do you usually prefer? Do you go for a lot on it? Do you like a simple pizza?
I go crazy, and there is video proof of me telling Peter that the penne vodka pizza at Napoli's is my hands down favorite pizza. He wants to battle me that you can't have pasta on pizza, but I believe he came around at some point. So this right here is one of my favorite pizzas, the chicken bruschetta. But let's give this one a go.
All right, go on, try it. What do you think? So good. I want to try it too.
So first, they absolutely crush it with the thin crust, and you really taste the vodka sauce. But then you get that hint from the basil, from the pesto. It's really, really something else, and it's pretty unique. I don't think there's many options like this.
Well, I was saying I've never really seen that before, but it looks actually very appetizing. And also, like if you're vegetarian or you know you have restrictions with the things that you want to eat, this is. I mean, it falls right up my alley for sure.
And it's like the best of both worlds. If I had to think of like a summer pie, to me pesto is just very summer. So you get your vodka sauce, you get your like rich kind of creaminess, and then you get your pesto for like a refreshing little kick.
Yeah,
I love that.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what are we rating?
11. 11, I have to say.
Okay, amazing. Okay, let's try the second piece.
So
which is the chicken bruschetta.
The chicken bruschetta looks like it has ranch and chipotle on it as well.
You can go wrong with ranch.
And this is like a heavy slice.
It's heavy.
This has got a little bit of everything on it. And let's see, I want to make sure I get the perfect bite. Everything on it.
I love the basil as well on top. It's still a little bit of that basil. But I love basil on anything anyway. Okay, what do you think? You're just like,
So this one.
Yeah? You've had this one before.
I have.
Okay.
All of the flavors. All of the flavors.
Yeah.
You're getting the mix of the chipotle sauce and the ranch on top for that like creamy kick. Yeah. You can't go wrong with chipotle in anything.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of bruschetta.
Yeah.
Big fan. Same. Mixing that with some breaded chicken.
Okay.
With melted cheese. I mean, come on, you really can't go wrong with this one.
Can we compare the two?
Oh. Okay. So what I will say, they're kind of different categories, but having them both as one pizza gives you the best of your light. So if you have the friend who wants like a lighter option versus like the daring crazy friend who wants to try everything on a slice. Yeah. This kind of mixture, 100%. I would say, is for everybody.
And you can do this here, like you can customize your pizza to however you want. You know, she does a lot of half and half sauce.
Yeah, and like this size is perfect. To see if I ordered it with my husband, would have to get the largest size possible. But this person will be perfect for like two friends hanging out, just wanting to try a little bit of pizza. So I love the options that they have here.
Amazing. Let's try it. Let's go for the pasta.
Okay, let's do it. Oh my gosh, this looks gorgeous.
This one is vodka as well.
Yes, so this one is their pasta Napoli. So this has mushrooms in it. I see peas, roasted peppers, prosciutto.
Basil.
A little bit of everything. All right, let's dig right in.
Try it in.
Get some prosciutto.
I'm like drooling over here with you.
Wow.
Good.
Wow.
Amazing.
So the creaminess, the sauce is really rich.
Talk to me about the sauce here and compared to obviously the pizza, is it still the same consistency?
Different flavors, same consistency.
Okay.
Yes, it's very rich, and you get like a sweetness from the roasted peppers. You get that kind of like salty kick from the prosciutto.
Yeah.
It's cooked, so it adds a lot, like a very, very rich, like deep flavor. This is definitely something that you come hungry for. Yeah. You're gonna leave very satisfied.
Okay.
Very, very
how does
satisfied.
the prosciutto, like, does it give it an extra kick in there?
It does. It gives it, like I said, adds the saltiness to the dish.
Yeah.
And I'd say it gives it kind of almost not a smoky flavor, but it brings like a different level. Whereas, you know, the vodka sauce on that pizza was more of just like a light creamy. This one's more of like a thicker, richer creamy, in my opinion.
So do you consider yourself more of a pasta kind of girl or a pizza kind of girl?
I'd say right now we're living my dream come true, where I get to have both on one table. But typically, probably pasta, because that's something that I can make at home. Pizza, I'll always have to order out. I haven't gotten that one down. But when I come to Napoli's, I can't not get pizza. Every time I come, you at least need a slice to go along with it.
Let's try for the last dish.
Okay.
Are delicious.
Very refreshing.
Yeah.
So I think we have some Parmesan cheese on here, pears.
Walnuts.
I see walnuts, and I believe they said that they have their homemade balsamic,
yeah,
which I love about Napoli's. Everything they do is just so homemade, and like you really don't find a lot of the stuff that they on their menu anywhere else.
100%.
All right, so we got
go for
pear cheese. Let me just throw on a walnut. We're allowed to use our fingers on this segment.
Nothing wrong with that. This is more on the healthier side, obviously. Okay, talk to me about that.
The balsamic, first of all.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, it's light. Yeah. It's refreshing. Little creamy, but not very. That could have been mixing with the Parmesan cheese. It is so refreshing. And the pear.
The pears give it that sweet flavor.
We need to normalize putting pears in salads, because I'm a big fan of this. And the walnuts kind of give it that like nutty, kind of richer flavor as well. And then Parmesan cheese, you can't ever go wrong with that.
Okay, well, these dishes are super delicious. I am so excited to try this after we're done here.
Yep.
But is there anything else that you are looking forward to when you come to Napoli's?
I'm looking forward to actually bringing my son here.
Okay, yeah.
Had him 2 months ago. Can't eat any of this yet.
How's mommy life? Mommy life
is good. This is like my first night out in Hoboken a little bit. I haven't showered in 3 days, have spit up probably all over me, so we're just making it work. But anytime someone says, come to Napoli's, I go running. So,
was this your first, by the way, or second?
First
child.
First child, first baby. But it's like this kind of restaurant, it feels very family friendly.
Yeah.
And the owners are so warm and welcoming. Yeah. So I'm excited to be bringing him. It's again very far down the road, but I can't wait for stuff like that here.
And we are so excited to have you back. Yeah, finally.
I know it's been a very long time. Last time we were eating burgers and it was winter, so I'm happy. I'm happy to be here in the warm weather.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that is it for today for us. I am Desiree, your host. We'll see you next time.
Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B, and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano, and we are here at the beautiful Hoboken University Medical Center, located at 308 Willow Avenue. And I'm a little more jumpy because they brought out the big guns today, and that is, of course, the System Chief Medical Officer here at Hoboken University Medical Center, Mr. John Rimmer. It is so great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Peter. It's fantastic for you guys to be here.
Exactly. And let me repeat that. Dr. John Rimmer, that is, of course, right? Dr. Rimmer, you are a Hoboken person through and through. You've been here for more than a decade. I was just wondering if you want to explain to the audience at home how you progressed here at Hoboken University Medical Center.
You know, I think I'm sort of the classic Hoboken resident in the sense that I started in New York City, moved to Hoboken as my career here developed. I started here as a young emergency physician right out of residency more than 10 years ago. I was a nocturnist, which means that I only worked nights. And it was my responsibility. Anybody that walked in the door in the ER overnight, I took care of. And I found that very challenging, but also invigorating. As an emergency physician, we sometimes take care of people in the worst 90 minutes of their year or even life. That's an immense responsibility. We take it very seriously, and we try to provide the top quality care. And for our resources in this hospital, for a community hospital here tucked away in Hoboken, the oldest functioning hospital in New Jersey, I think we do a fantastic job.
All right, well, that's absolutely fantastic. Of course, how could we all forget about this? COVID-19. I mean, it really took a toll on people and told people to stay home. We have 60,000 people in this square mile community of Hoboken, one of the most densely populated cities in probably the country, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's where I've always known that Hoboken University Medical Center, I'm just going to call it HUMC, was one of the best acute healthcare facilities in the States. And now you have people who were getting sick and needed to go to a local hospital. Obviously, you saw an influx of patients. Did you also receive different type of feedback from people who never thought that they would have been receiving the care that they received here?
You know, that whole experience was obviously was a generational, if not a challenge with which we hope we'll never experience again. But we learned a ton. I do wear a little pride that per the health department, I was apparently the third patient in Hoboken to even get COVID. So I helped manage the crisis while I was actually ill. But I've never seen such teamwork, such compassion, honestly, such bravery from my colleagues. And we all I think as we emerge from COVID, we'd look back and see what we could have done a little bit better. But overall, I think we responded the best we could. Overall, our system, we've treated, we've tested more than 110,000 patients for COVID. We've hospitalized more than 10,000. We've given, I think, almost system-wide, almost 40,000 vaccines. So we've rose to the challenge, and certainly now, as we hopefully put COVID behind us, we see what the healthcare landscape looks like in a post-COVID world.
Absolutely phenomenal. And let's talk about the vaccines, because my 89-year-old grandmother, who has been treated here, my nonna, who's still with us to this day, who's been treated here multiple times, and the care she has received here has been better than many of the other hospitals that we decided to bring her to years ago. She was one of the first to get a vaccine in this town through Hoboken University Medical Center. And I think that's important that as a local organization and the only local hospital here, you guys were on the front line to provide the best type of help to Hoboken residents.
Yeah, I was one of the first persons to line up for the vaccine. Actually, the mayor was standing next to me when we got the vaccine of January that year, and it was the first time we really felt like we turned the corner when it came to actual prevention as opposed to just treatment. We've come a long way with COVID. We still have a few admissions here or there for COVID, but it's certainly not a driver of mortality any longer. I think even the CDC announced that the majority of the American population now has good immunity to COVID, and there isn't another emerging variant, which we've heard about this week, but reportedly its virulence is very low. So hopefully it will be more of a nuisance than it will be a driver of hospitalization or otherwise trouble for society.
Well, thank you. We do have to go to a quick commercial break. More with Dr. John Rimmer right after these messages.
Welcome to Hudson River Care and Counseling. Hello, I'm Dr. Pam Pater-Ennis, the CEO and founder of Hudson River Care and Counseling with over 30 years of clinical social work experience and therapy. We are a progressive counseling and coaching practice with a diverse team that brings a holistic approach to clients. We offer support both in person and through digital platforms such as telehealth. Consider us a safe haven that you can trust with care for your mental health needs. Visit our website to set up a consultation today.
Welcome back to The Pulse, still here at the beautiful Hoboken University Medical Center, located at 308 Willow Avenue, of course, in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And we're still here with Assistant Chief Medical Officer, and that is Dr. John Rimmer. Did you miss me during the commercial?
I thought of you often.
I appreciate that. That's the best answer. I ask everybody, and that's certainly one of the, you can tell he has compassion to be in the medical field. Dr. Rimmer, I think it's important to tell the audience at home some of the new programs and the current programs that HUMC offers.
Great, thank you. Yeah, we're excited to really turn a corner here and a little bit of a sunrise for the hospital. As many know, we were out of network and for-profit for many years, and now under some new leadership, we are fully nonprofit and fully in-network. And that gives a lot of opportunity both for organic growth as well as strategic partnerships. Organically, we've expanded significantly over the last year or year and a half. We've onboarded more than 450 new physicians and providers across our system. We've started strategic partnerships with New York Presbyterian and Columbia surgeons who are operating in this hospital every day for things like colorectal surgery, endocrine surgery, advanced hernia surgery. We have a partnership with Rothman Orthopedics, who is now helping lead our musculoskeletal services, which is a national leader in orthopedic research and quality. And actually, next month we'll be cutting a ribbon cutting on the only pediatric specialty center in Hudson County. So St. Peter's University Hospital, the Children's Hospital, will be having a satellite specialty clinic, including pediatric neurology, pediatric pulmonology, pediatric nephrology, pediatric orthopedics. So any of your pediatric needs will be available here in Hudson County. No other hospital in Hudson County has pediatric specialists like we do.
And I do want to talk about a little bit of her personal experience, because I mentioned this in the first part of this segment regarding my nonna. You know, she came in here, you know, with multiple health issues. And, you know, she was from the ICU, and then she moved all the way up to the TCU, which is on the 7th floor. And I have to tell you, every single area of the hospital that she was in, they treated her with the utmost dignity, and that is so important to us. This is the town we grew up in. This is the town we love. This is the town. This is where she wanted to be. And from the nurses to the janitorial staff to the doctors, of course. I mean, I know, not in that order. It was just an unbelievable experience through and through. And we can't thank you and your staff enough. And what makes Hoboken University Medical Center, under your leadership, have some of the best staff?
Well, I think what you just remarked on, and it's the culture, right? And it doesn't matter the hierarchy, whether you're janitorial or the CEO of the hospital. You know, we have a saying here: culture eats strategy for breakfast, and we impart a culture of safety, number one, of quality, of access, and now certainly being cost conscious. You know, being in network and an environment with which everybody is in high deductible plans and high copays. We have to be cost conscious. So we try to impart great community care, you know, tertiary level care at the community level, and that's by partnerships with like systems like Columbia. You know, we transfer less than 1% of our patients in this hospital. We have everyone on call, from hand surgery to orthopedics, from ENT to ophthalmology. In this hospital, 24/7, we have anesthesia, OB, pediatrics, hospitalists, intensive care, and of course, emergency physicians. So for a community hospital, we provide a depth of service with which I don't think you often find at a community level.
That's absolutely fantastic. Any other closing words? We have about 49 seconds here that you want to mention to the residents of the city of Hoboken about why they should not only look at Hoboken University Medical Center as just a quick ER in case they hurt themselves playing in Zog Sports or something like that, and you know, look at this hospital.
Like I said, you want access, quality, and cost, right? And we have really those three things now. We have some of the quickest wait times, whether it be in the ED or for primary care specialists in the region. We have quality. You know, the Loan Institute, which is an agency that ranks hospitals based on their overall performance and even social responsibility, ranked us number 2 in the state and top 20 in the country for community benefit. So, you know, we have really, again, that depth of experience and that quality of care with which I think at a community level really cannot be beat in the area.
Well, Dr. John Rimmer, thanks so much. Congratulations on where this hospital has come. I mean, I've always known it was one of the best in the state, and now other people should know as well. The System Chief Medical Officer here at Hoboken University Medical Center. We hope to see you on a future show, hopefully.
Thank you, Peter.
Absolutely.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to the Pulse with Peter B. Peter Biancamano back in the host chair. And when we've been visiting our friends over at Hudson River Care and Counseling, of course, located at 310 Cedar Lane in the beautiful city of Teaneck, New Jersey, and 63A 8th Street in Hoboken, New Jersey, we have had Pastor Mark as the special guest host. But we're reversing the roles this episode, folks, and we're going to have another familiar face, our favorite mental health expert, Dr. Pam Pater-Ennis, hosting the next segment, interviewing her husband, Reverend Mark Ennis. I'm going to shoot it out right to Dr. Pam. Dr. Pam, take it away.
Thank you, Peter, for having us on here to do our own hosting. That's exciting. Today we're going to we've been doing segments on my sanctuary healing. And by way of introduction, it's a subset of Hudson River Care and Counseling in both Hoboken and Teaneck and telehealth. And we are now doing a program for religious abuse survivors or people of religious trauma of some sort. And we're going to talk about that. But because my husband, Pastor Mark Ennis, has been working with me, not in the therapy part of this, but in the support group part of this, we wanted to talk after production with Peter. We decided we're going to interview Mark, Pastor Mark, about how he got into this work in the first place. Mm-hmm. So Mark, tell us how it is that you came to do this work and to do the co-hosting with me on our support group, which has been going for a year now.
Mm-hmm. The story begins decades ago in Albany. And just a warning, if you are anxious, if you've been abused, you might not want to listen to this. I was sitting in my office. Now, Dr. Pam worked for a different agency at the time. She hadn't set up her own. She had an office within our building in the church. And one stormy afternoon, I heard our outside door open and close. I looked up, and here was a young woman. She was dressed in a robe. She was carrying her stuffed bunny rabbit with her and had bunny slippers on. And she was carrying a large butcher knife. And I was unclear if she was a threat or what was happening. So I engaged her in conversation. It turns out she was disassociative. The lightning, the thunder, the rain had brought up some memories, and she was extremely frightened. She had an appointment with Dr. Pam in a couple hours, but wasn't feeling safe in her home, so she came early. She wanted a safe place to be. The knife was not a threat to me. She was prepared to kill herself if the, quote, men in black caught up with her. I assured her in my office the men in black could not possibly get to her. I showed her the crucifix over my outside door and the olive carving of Jesus with his cross by the window. This was a sanctuary, a safe place. I got her calmed down enough to know she had not slept in 3 days. And she sat in my reclining chair, and before you know it, she was snoring louder than any woman I had ever heard. Well, she frequently came to visit me after that, before she saw Dr. Pam. And what I discovered was she had been abused by male clergy. She wanted to hear from a male clergy that it was not her fault. And she needed to hear that from male clergy. And that began my journey working with Dr. Pam on helping wounded people heal. And that's where we are today.
And as a woman, at that point, she was really young. I think she was still in college or just out of college, really struggling, living away from home, didn't have any supports. So in some ways, we became her pseudo-parents. Mm-hmm. And she eventually really has healed. She's done well in life. She's become a professional woman and living on her own and done very well considering the horrific abuse at home and in the church that she had. And we've really worked with men and women, but majority women who have varying degrees of sexual abuse or have been lesbian, or men too are gay, have been ostracized by the church. And again, the theme is, as Pastor Mark said, you can heal. We will give you hope for that, and no, it's not your fault. And if we flip to the psychological framework for a moment, I would just add, for those of you who might have a psychotherapy background or training, I'm using usually something called narrative exposure therapy to work with people. I'm getting people to tell their stories as many times as they need. Sometimes they write their story down, sometimes they audio record it, but they have to tell their stories until it no longer eats them up. And out of that, you can draw out themes. But when it came to the part about the church for religious abuse survivors, this is where Pastor Mark comes in, because his presence in the group or in these encounters with this young woman was healing, because he essentially created a safe space for them in a place that had never been safe for them. In other words, he made an unsafe place safe. So it sort of brought them to another level of healing.
And so we've been doing this for decades now, and we've each written books on the topic too. My book is about giving care to people who are catalysts for healing, because you can get overwhelmed. And that's what this is about. Dr. Pam's book is about lesbian clergy who were abused by the church. She interviewed a number of those. I have another one coming out, I hope in just a couple months, called Out of the Wilderness. It's a story of a boy who grew up in a very Christian family. His parents were both abusive. And it's his journey. How in the world can you overcome that abuse and still honor your mother and father who were abusers? And that's what that will be about. And I thank you, Dr. Pam, for letting me be part of all the work you've done. And of course, you've let me be a co-host of My Sanctuary Healing.
Yes.
So you and I can continue to be catalysts for healers and healing.
Well, thank you all for listening, and we hope that if you need help, don't hesitate to call us at 201-541-8600 or look us up at www.hudsonrivercareandcounseling.com. And we really pray and hope that we can be a catalyst, as Pastor Mark says, for your healing. Thank you, Peter, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pam. Always a fun segment with you and Mark. We can get used to this on a monthly occasion. You're just going to have to tune in next month when we go visit our friends again over at Hudson River Care and Counseling and see who will be hosting, who will be the guest. It's just going to be a lot of fun. All right, folks, join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.